Hi. Good morning. Hello. Today is a off day, a rest day, if you will, which if I'm honest, I kind of hate. I gotta say, I kind of hate. One of my best friends, Ryan, he's a workaholic, and every time we're like, hey man, stop working so much, like why don't you do something for your own personal time? He always says, the little army man in my head says if I stop working so much, like something bad will happen or something. So the little army man in my head is like, giving up, are you, Sergeant? Giving up on your dreams already, are you? You're a failure. What are you doing not doing something? But even though I've got like 8 days in a row, like a pretty heavy, full calendar of things that I've done, I feel like I could do something right now. I know that it's important to like give my body some time to catch up, and that's what I'm doing now. But it's still kills me. The idea of taking a day off scares me because I've been on such a roll that I'm afraid that it's getting derailed, especially with Christmas coming up. Anyway, considering I don't have my normal format now because I don't have like a ride or a run or something to show, I thought it would be fun to talk about and just create a jump off point on what exactly a mountain bike marathon is, what my plans are, and maybe a little bit what my goals are. So if you're like new here, or you're just not really sure what's going on with this channel right now, like, wait, everything's kind of changing. This would be like a great jump off point to go back to this video where this all kind of started and then watch all the way through to wherever I'm at with the videos now. This is also a great time to say, hey, subscribe. Doing some eggs this morning with hot sauce. Duh. So, what is a mountain bike marathon? Well, it actually gets a little bit annoying right out the gate. See, with running, it's 42 kilometers. You run 42 kilometers, you have done a marathon, whether it's a timed event, whether you've just run it on your own, whatever. 42 kilometers, that is a marathon. If you tried to find a definitive definition of a mountain bike marathon by looking at Wikipedia, it would say anything over 40 kilometers is a mountain bike marathon. If you go to Canyon's website, they say anywhere from 60 to 120 kilometers. But good news from the UCI, from 2023 on, the distance will be locked at 100 kilometers to try and promote closer racing and parity of course design across the series, which means like official mountain bike marathon is 100 kilometers, which is great because now there's a number that is definitively associated with the word marathon for mountain biking. Now, the terrain is going to be very similar to any sort of like cross-country racing that you may have seen through like UCI, Red Bull, all that stuff. It's going to definitely include a good amount of that, good amount of climbing through technical single track climbing. There's going to be the odd technical descent. And then of course there's going to be like gravel transition roads. You might find yourself on the road a little bit as well. It all sort of depends on the course. Just like in the running world, all the courses are just a little bit different. But one thing is for sure, a mountain bike marathon and something like Tour Divide, like those gravel race rigs where you're totally packed up with your entire life's belongings for weeks at a time, those are different things. A mountain bike marathon is a single day event around a taped course, generally doing a couple laps. You are self-supported, but you do have the opportunity to come back to home base between each lap to refuel, work on your bike if you need to. Whereas, Tour, you have every single thing with you at all times. They're not the same. And I feel like when I say I'm going to do a mountain bike marathon, some people in the comments are thinking that I'm going to do like a really long gravel ride. That is not the case. I am mountain biking. So yeah, that's like a very high level kind of overarching definition of what you could maybe expect to see in a mountain bike marathon, what you can expect to see in some of the content that you're going to see for the next 9-ish, maybe 10. I think it's 10 months. So yeah, let's talk about the bike that you might want to use. This is my current $0 heap of parts. It is a cross-country bike. It's relatively light for the sum of its parts at 28-ish pounds. It climbs very efficiently, way faster than all the bikes I currently have right now. It's just, that's what it's built for. It descends fine. I have no reason to try and make this a better descending bike, especially because in the descent, you're not going to make a ton of time. It's not a downhill race. The thing's like, it's a crazy long race. So it's more about being able to climb efficiently and quickly, and then do like the flatter sections relatively quickly as well on a bike that's good for it. The descents are, like maybe the third most important thing. Just don't die. And I call it a heap because on paper, if you looked at the list of parts, you'd be like, oh, that's like a pretty good bike. But truly, the build itself comes out worse than the sum of all of its parts. Like the bars are more narrow than I want them to be. I haven't bled the SLX brakes, even though they actually work great. They could work better. Like this is a nice Dior XT front hub, but the bearings are all wore out, like it's crunchy. I took it apart, I rebuilt it. It's still crunchy, so. It's got these crazy heavy SRAM NX cranks on it. It's got the power spline bottom bracket. These could fall off at any time. It does freak me out a little bit. And then this derailleur hanger, you already know I've been harping about this for a while. It's been bent once, it's been bent back, so it's already soft. It will break. If something goes through it, like it's gonna be broken. I can't find one of these derailleur hangers easily shipped to me. I'll just keep riding this and really keep my fingers crossed that nothing happens, although stuff does happen. I'm just a little worried about reliability. I'm hoping that the shorter 60-kilometer coal miner's lung is the first one I get to go do. It's in Minto, New Brunswick. It's a 20-kilometer lap. It's 3 laps of that 20-kilometer course. As you can see from the elevation graph here, it's actually not that brutal. It's pretty flat. I think I could just, as long as my bike doesn't break like it did last time, I should be able to get through this. I feel like I could probably get through that like today. The next one I want to do, or the second one, depending on where the dates land, is the 24-hour summer solstice race in Ontario. Basically just want to go hang out with my friends, be on a relay team, and literally just have a good time. I want to go race my bike with my friends for like long periods of time and just have a good time. I don't actually have a goal for that other than like get there. I just want to do it. I know nothing about this race. I just know that everyone says it's a hoot. So I want to do it. And then finally in October, I want to redeem myself at the 120-kilometer mountain bike marathon called the Tour of Elgin. There's like a belt buckle awarded for the top 25 finishers. I don't care about any of that. I literally just want to go to the race and finish it within any time. I don't know if there's a time constraint or anything, but I just want to finish it. It bothers me so much that I went and attempted this and was so blindly confident that I was going to finish it that I just didn't. I took a wrong turn on my second lap because it was just so like, oh, you can't take time to look at stuff. Like, don't look at that sign. I think that's the right way. And I was not mature enough to be like, hey, the couple seconds you're going to take to make sure you're going the right way is not going to make or break your race. You know, just take the time to make sure you're going the right way. You don't need to try and follow all the fast people. You're not a fast guy. So just take it easy. And yeah, as you can see from the elevation graph here, it's a pretty challenging race. It beats the crap out of you pretty good. And yeah, it bothers me that I never finished it. So yeah, that's the goal, is just to be fit enough that I'm not dying, not making bad decisions, and that I can get it all the way done. All the way done. Yeah, I brought the 14-inch tortillas with me to Moncton for the holidays. That means this is my third burrito out of the rice, bean, and fake pulled pork mix that I made 2 days ago. Cooking. Yeah, I'm in Moncton now. I brought this thing and this thing. It was a good rest day. Yeah, I brought the calendar. Of course I brought the